Are we ready? Can I? Okay, fine. So sorry for the interruption. I had started the session by thanking all the workers, all the healthcare workers for all that they have done. And the topic of this session is role of Iyengar yoga in this pandemic. Now, talking of Iyengar yoga, Guruji has always said, Guruji V.K. Iyengar has always said that yoga is one. And we as students would call it Iyengar yoga because his methodology of teaching was so unique that irrespective of your age or health status, he had a methodology for all of us to practice in such a manner that each of us managed to get the same state or a similar state, which was a state of stability, it was a state of sense of joy, it was a state of sense of absorption, and it was a state where we moved away from the duality between the two sides of the body, the duality between the body and mind. Now, coming to the specific topic of the role of Iyengar yoga during this pandemic, what happens is that while majority of us across the world are within a lockdown and sitting at home in the constrained environment, what really happens is that because of the restrictions in the movement of the body, there is an effect not only on the skeletal and skeletal-muscular system of the arms and the limbs and the spine, but that also has an effect on the organic system, the digestive system, because if the legs and arms are not working, then automatically the organs which are within this skeletal-muscular system get affected. And then when the skeletal-muscular system and the organic body get affected, the mind gets affected. So we cannot, there would be cases where people who are in isolation would tend to get into a state of loneliness. For a practitioner of yoga, maybe this is a good time for them to get absorbed, to explore the body, to explore the different stages of the consciousness. But for an individual, a normal individual who's constrained in the environment, it becomes a situation where they may get into a sense of loneliness, which can even lead on to a sense of depression. So we don't know where the body ends and begins, or the mind ends and the body begins. Both are so closely interconnected. And therefore, the body is the only instrument that we are born with, as Guruji would say, and it is through this body we are able to access the different organs of the body, the mind, the emotions, and with that we would be able to state that irrespective of the environment outside, we would be in a position to have a better control, I would say, a better understanding and better utilization of this unique instrument, the body that we are born with. Now, if the whole question is it enough? What should we be doing? There are asanas, and there are lakhs and lakhs of asanas as stated in the Shiv Samhita, as many living and non-living beings and many asanas. But then, it is not which asana to do for what condition. It is how that it is done is very important. So, like in the case of medicines, when somebody is unwell and a doctor prescribes a medicine, it is not just taking the pill. It is how pure that pill is, what is the proportion of the medication in that pill that makes a difference. So similarly, it is the quality of the asana that makes the difference. So now, in the next few minutes, I'm just going to demonstrate to you and guide you to a few asanas. Asanas fall under different categories, and each of these asanas work not only on a specific part, but on the neighboring parts and the neighboring parts, and therefore the whole body. To start with, the first asana that we generally teach beginners is Tadasana. Now, in Tadasana, when we stand, all of us stand. And when we stand, how aware are we of our body? How aware are we of the feelings of where the foot touches the floor? So the first thing to do is to look down and make sure the feet are close to each other. Then, the feet are the foundation of our body, and it's important that the feet immerse into the floor like roots of a plant of a tree immerse into the floor. Now, physically, the foot cannot go in, but we can manage. So I would say, raise the toes up, spread the toes, extend the mounts, and place the base of the mounts of the feet on the floor. You do that with the other leg. Now, what happens is that when we adjust the body in this manner, there's a certain sensation that starts creeping up. This sensation is what I call as consciousness. The consciousness, to me, is a feeling of life. Wherever there is no feeling, that part is considered or can be considered dead in terms of sensation. Now when I stand, this sensation goes right up to the hips. If I bring my inner thighs closer, and if I take my frontal thigh muscles back, then that sensation moves right up to the shoulders. Then this is the emotional center. If this emotional center sinks, you become dull, lethargic, and emotionally fragile. So this emotional center needs to be lifted up, which happens when the corners of the shoulders go back. Now moving the corners of the shoulders back, extend the arms down. Now maintaining the corners of the shoulders back, can I move my palms inwards so that I feel a complete connection in my body, but my brain, my head remains quiet. This becomes Tadasana. From Tadasana, we can go to Utthita Trikonasana. There are many ways of going into an asana, and this would depend upon your age and health status. So I will show that in case for youngsters, they can take the palms to the chest, bend the knees and jump. However, there may be many of you viewers who have knee problems, back problems. So for them, I would say just spread your feet apart. See that the toes are facing the front, like in Tadasana. Extend the arms to the side. Observe that the sensation moves from the armpit to the heel of the palms. This is what I refer to as the heel of the palms. Extend the arms away. Remember what we learned in Tadasana, corners of the shoulders going back. Now turn your right foot in and turn the left leg out. Completely turn the leg out. Exhale, maintaining the two flanks of the sides of the chest. Take the arm down. In case you are stiff, don't collapse the body. The plane of the body has to be maintained. Place the palm down and extend the arm straight up. If you are stiff, you can use some more height and place the palm. This becomes Trikonasana. These poses have to be done on both the sides. However, because of time constraint, I will not be showing you on both the sides. Another asana which works on, which starts working on the legs and then through the spine is Uttanasana. In the classical asana, we exhale and extend the trunk down. Allow the head to hang. Remember, the neck should be free. And take the palms down. However, there may be people who suffer from back pain, who may be very scared to take the palms down. I would say use a chair, a stool, whatever is available to you in your houses. Spread the feet apart. Remember, your back starts from the sacral region right up to the neck. So what we need to do is ensure that the movement comes from the head of the thighs. So movement should come from the joints and not from anywhere in the middle of the back. So move the thigh muscles closer to the thigh bone. Exhale, allow the chest to descend and rest the forehead onto the seat of the chair. Now when you rest the forehead, you should ensure that the skin of the forehead moves from the hairline towards the eyebrows. This is Uttanasana. If you are stiff, you can spread the feet a little more. If your head doesn't rest, you can place another blanket like this on the seat of the chair and rest the head of the blanket. So this way, your trunk elongates, but whatever you do, the legs should be firm. The quadricep muscles, the thigh muscles should go to meet the thigh bone so that the back of the legs open out. You can stay as long as you are comfortable. I will not be prescribing any amount of time because that would depend on the level of practice. You can inhale, come up. Then I will show you what we call as Supta Pada Mushtasana. Supta means lying down, and in Supta Pada Mushtasana, we try to work again on the legs. We give a lot of importance to the legs because it is these legs which form the pillars and beams of the structure of our body. So if the pillars and beams of the structure of our body is weak, then naturally that structure will not stand. The contents within the body would also be affected. So in Supta Pada Mushtasana, you will be lying down. You can take a belt or a dupatta, whatever is available to you, lie down on the floor. move the corners of the shoulders back. It is like doing Tadasana, but in a lying down condition. Bend your right leg, bend your left leg, hook the belt on the middle of the foot, hold the belt, release the flesh of the buttocks, and then exhale and straighten out the leg. If you are stiff, doesn't matter. You can take the foot away, but keep the leg straight. Straightness is important because when the muscles go closer to the bone, the muscles elongate, they feed the bone, the joints are healthy. But if the muscles are bulky, they shorten, the knee also shortens. So hold the belt, exhale, move the quadricep back. So you are creating resistance, and because of the belt, there is no strain on the throat. Breathing is normal. This foot may tend to become dull. So as I said in the beginning, we need to connect the body. So see that the extended leg on the floor, the quadricep muscles roll from outside inwards, and by doing that, you are creating straightness in the legs. Now what happens when the legs become straight? There is space created in the abdomen. As much as the muscles need to be elongated and move close to the bone, the abdominal area needs to be soft. It is here where our major organs are placed. The digestive and excretory system is very crucial because whatever you eat, if it is not digested, then you will not get the right nourishment, and in turn, we will end up with getting some toxic effects remaining in the body. So we have to create space. Again, this asana has to be done on both the sides, but for time constraints, I'm not showing it on the other side. Now, another asana, which is Baddha Konasana. In Baddha Konasana, we sit with our feet together and allow the knees to descend. I sat on a blanket because when I sit on a blanket, I get space in the abdominal area. If I'm sitting casually, my abdomen shrinks. Where is the space? So to create that space, you need to sit on the frontal edges of the buttock bones. So you are sitting on your buttock bones. I will hold the base of my ankles, lift the trunk up. There's an internal feeling of tallness that I need to get. Once I feel that tallness, I will work on descending my knees down. Now, how do the knees go down? The knees will go down when the hamstrings, the back of the thighs extend. So I will extend the hamstring and then sit straight. Again, this asana can be done for any period of time. You can start with a few seconds, 30 seconds, and then proceed to do it, even for a few minutes to 10 minutes or longer. That depends on your practice. But remember, while doing it, you get a uniform feeling in the hands. I spoke about duality. The purpose of asanas is to remove the duality that exists within all of us. And the simplest example of duality that exists can be tested by doing what we call as Gomukasana. I will only show you the arm action, wherein you extend the arm up, keep making the arm longer, and then maintaining the length of the upper arm, exhale and bend the arm. Then we'll hold the arm aside. I will show you the action from behind. So here, if you see, we have to hold well. This asana, what this asana does is has an improvement. If you see the length that's created in the sides of the trunk, these are our ribs, and these are the space between the ribs. So in Gomukasana, we not only get freedom in the shoulders, but we are able to create space between the ribs, the intercostal muscles, and therefore breathe better. This asana has to be done again on both the sides. But you will notice that you find it easier on one side as compared to the other. Another asana, which is again easy to learn, is Virasana. In this, we sit by moving the calf muscle out, bringing and allowing the buttocks to descend down, and sit straight and tall. However, if you have knee issues, don't worry. Doesn't mean you don't do it. You do it with support. So you can take a blanket and sit on a blanket. If you still have knee issues, remember, if there is pain in the knee, you don't proceed. You can take a block, sit on the height, and gradually you will educate muscles to become longer. These are a few asanas which are done with the sitting and in the standing condition. Then we have asanas like Bharadwajasana. Now there are people in the older age group who may not be able to sit on the floor, and in that case, we need to twist and turn the spine. So what we do is, we have a chair, or we have chairs at home. It would be your normal dining table chair, or if you have old furniture, you may have these folding chairs. You will sit on this side. Wherever you sit, you need to be tall. Exhale, hold the sides of the chair, and with an exhalation, become taller and turn. You can even take your arm behind, exhale and turn. Exhale and turn further. Now what happens? When you're exhaling and turning, you are as if, I can say, rinsing the abdominal organs. So naturally, like you were exercising the skeletal muscles, you are exercising the abdominal organs. So this again has to be done on both the sides. And because of time constraints, I'm not showing to you on both the sides. And one more asana, if I have permission from Dr. Akshay, I will continue to show what is Setubandha Sarvangasana. In this asana, what you do is you can use a block or you use bolsters. The simplest version is when you sit on the bolster, curve back, one by one, allow your elbows to descend. And mind you, this can be done with people of any age, whether they are 70s or 80s. Curve back, and then slowly slide down so your shoulders reach the floor. Extend the legs out, and take the arms to the side. Now what happens here is that you are working on your dorsal spine. As we age, this dorsal area starts getting hunched. In this condition, the dorsal moves deeper towards the chest and the thoracic cavity opens out. So therefore, there is ease for the heart and the lungs. There is length created in the chest area. Remember, the heart and the lungs need to have that length. And then you can stay there as long as you want. And then you come up. You will just slightly raise the hips or slide away and push the bolster away. And then we can end the practice with Shavasana. And then you can do the same Shavasana by placing a bolster behind the back. As I showed you earlier, the side chest has to be opened well. Guruji Iyengar always used to tell us that the sides of the chest are the storehouse of energy. So if I lie down flat, this chest collapses, as you can see. It drops down. But if I were to use a bolster and place it in such a manner that it supports the spine, you can see the length, or rather the width that is created in the chest. This width in the chest makes breathing easier, and even an aged person, a fatigued person, can lie down with this chest propped up. Then, while in Shavasana, you will remove your glasses. Hopefully, you don't have to talk to yourself during Shavasana, wherein you will again move the corners of the shoulders back. So what we learned in Tadasana is applicable in all the asanas. Move the skin and the back of the skull up, rest the shoulders, and the palms by the side. The abdomen descends. When the abdomen descends, throat becomes soft. When the throat becomes soft, the brain cells quieten. You can remain there, initially watching, observing the movement of the breath as it goes into the nostrils. The awareness that the breath gives as you inhale, and the awareness that comes in as you exhale. Initially, you feel the breath only in certain areas, but if you continue with the observation, you will be able to observe the breath in continuity. Then you can even direct the breath. What do I mean by direct the breath? Does the breath reach the sides? Hatha Yoga Pradipika says Jale Vatam, Jale Chittam. That is, where the mind goes, the breath goes. So if I expand my mind to the sides, the breath moves to the sides. If I extend my mind to the shoulders, the breath moves there. And mind you, this breath is what is that which keeps us alive. So we need to learn to spread the breath in all parts of the body. And then to come up from Shavasana, allow your awareness to surface, bend your knees, turn sideways to the right, and then come up. So with this, I would like to end this session with paying my gratitude to my Guru, Yogacharya D.K. Iyengar. This is just a glimpse, or I would say a flavor of how Guruji D.K. Iyengar taught us the tradition of Yogacharya D.K. Iyengar. It's like a small flavor that has been given to us, and you can practice and develop on this. So thank you very much, and now I will end by paying my gratitude by reciting the Guru Vandana. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parar Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om.